You start your workday with high-level execution. You are hydrated, caffeinated, and operating at peak cognitive capacity. Through the morning, you clear your inbox, you write complex proposals, and you feel entirely in control of your cognitive architecture. You are moving with momentum. But exactly at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, your biological operating system encounters a fatal error. A wave of severe, almost narcotic lethargy hits you. Your focus fractures entirely. Staring at a simple spreadsheet suddenly feels like attempting advanced calculus. You begin rereading the same sentence 4 times. You desperately reach for a 3rd cup of coffee just to keep your eyes open. You blame this collapse on a lack of discipline. You assume you just need to push harder, to optimize your mindset, to force your way through the fog. This is a mathematical impossibility. You cannot out-willpower a neurochemical crash. To reclaim your afternoon bandwidth, you must understand the exact biological mechanics of why your brain is actively forcing you to shut down. In clinical chronobiology, this phenomenon is heavily documented. Your body runs on a strict, unyielding 24-hour circadian rhythm. This rhythm is governed by a cluster of thousands of neurons in your hypothalamus, called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, and it dictates your wakefulness largely by controlling your core body temperature. Exactly 7 to 8 hours after you wake up, your core temperature experiences a natural, evolutionarily programmed biological dip. This thermal drop is not a mistake. It is an ancient survival mechanism designed to conserve energy during the hottest part of the day. This microscopic drop in temperature sends an immediate, unyielding signal to your brain to initiate a parasympathetic sleep cycle. You are physically sitting in a corporate office, dressed in business attire, attempting to drive revenue. But your autonomic nervous system is aggressively preparing you for deep wave slumber. But this natural temperature dip is entirely manageable. The reason it destroys you at 3 p.m. is because of what you did 2 hours earlier. The circadian trough is only half of the biological equation. The true sabotage occurs at exactly 12:30 in the afternoon, during your lunch break. When you consume a standard modern lunch, a sandwich comprised of processed wheat, a packet of crisps, or a sweetened coffee, you force a massive, unnatural spike in your blood glucose. Your bloodstream is suddenly intoxicated with sugar. To prevent this sugar from damaging your vascular system, your pancreas is forced into a state of absolute emergency. Your pancreas hypersecretes insulin, flooding your system to aggressively clear the sugar from your blood and force it into your cells. This massive overcorrection creates a violent metabolic seesaw. Your blood sugar plummets from artificially high to dangerously low in a matter of 90 minutes. This is a state of reactive hypoglycemia, the blood sugar crash. And this severe energy deficit collides perfectly with your circadian temperature drop at exactly 3 p.m. You have mathematically engineered the ultimate biological shutdown. This collision triggers a devastating neurological chain reaction. Deep inside your hypothalamus is a highly specialized network of neurons that produce a neuropeptide called orexin. Orexin, also known as hypocretin, is the master switch for human wakefulness, arousal, and motivation. It is the chemical that keeps you alert, driven, and focused. It is the biological hardware that makes you want to hunt, work, and solve complex problems. Clinical neuroscience has proven a terrifying biological mechanism. High levels of extracellular blood glucose physically bind to the ion channels of your orexin neurons, silencing them completely. Your carbohydrate-heavy lunch literally acts as a chemical off switch for the motivation center of your brain. You do not lack willpower at 3 p.m. You are not morally weak for wanting to sleep. You simply lack the neuropeptides mathematically required to stay awake. You have poisoned your own operating system, and your brain has shut down to protect itself. To permanently eliminate the 3 p.m. crash and sustain executive performance, you must strictly control your metabolic inputs. You must execute the Flattening Protocol. You must flatten the glucose curve to protect your orexin neurons. You must absolutely eliminate fast-absorbing carbohydrates during your midday meal. No bread, no pasta, no sugar. Prioritize high-density protein and raw fiber. These macronutrients metabolize incredibly slowly. They prevent the violent insulin spike, they maintain a stable blood glucose baseline, and most importantly, they keep your orexin network safely online. And to combat the circadian thermal trough, you must manually manipulate your temperature. Drink a large glass of ice-cold water, or expose yourself to bright natural sunlight to mechanically override the sleep signal. You have now secured your blood sugar and protected your motivation switch. But optimizing your lunch is completely irrelevant if your baseline cellular energy is already entirely depleted before you even wake up. Click here to discover the exact neurobiology of allostatic load and learn why chronic, invisible stress is physically exhausting you before you even step foot in the office.